Good morning, Regina from Mombasa County. As my colleague Michael Mondiga has put it, business is as usual here in Mombasa. In fact, we are expecting the Deputy President at the Bandari Maritime Academy, where today 500 seafarers will be flagged off to go aboard ocean-going vessels. They have been poached by different manning agents. Remember, these are coxswains as well as different students who have pursued courses in the hospitality sector. They have been able to find chances and opportunities abroad aboard these ocean-going vessels. We had scheduled to have the Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria with us today. However, he has to go receive the Deputy President, who will be here at around 2 p.m. That is when the event is formally expected to begin. But I'm joined with the Principal Secretary, Shipping and Maritime, Shadrach Mwadime, to also just give us a preamble of what we expect beginning 2 p.m. Karibu sana to Asset, Bwana PS. Let's just get right to it. This is a significant milestone, having to export labor from the country abroad, and of course we have seen it since William Ruto's predecessors, this program taking place. Right now 500 is a good number for the pupils. How often are we expecting to see these intakes going, or this poaching from these students going to happen? Probably the frequency.
Thank you for having me here. We intend to increase the numbers even as we go along. We are only starting off with 500 as it is now, but I want to assure Kenyans that there are even others who have been taken on board since the Kenya Kwanza government came into being. As we talk now, about 30 will be embarking one of the cruise ships today, so they will not be able to join us, but the remaining about 470 should be able to join us, who will be embarking ships possibly from next week going forward. So this is an ongoing process. We intend to have as many young people as possible securing jobs in the cruise ships that ply along the Indian Ocean and also the international waters, and not only cruise ships but also cargo ships. So we're going to be very aggressive going forward. Our target is to ensure that we have about 5,000 every year, so that when we are through as a Kenya Kwanza administration, nearly 30,000 would have been taken on board.
I am privileged to have worked with your office closely since you assumed office. We were with you during the familiarization tour, and you were with the students as well as other stakeholders to understand some of the challenges that this program is facing. As to that, let's just go one by one. There was an issue of the fees, the STCW course that they're supposed to undertake before going, and also some of them have not completed their hospitality courses because of the fee program as well in the different university or colleges or TVETs. What exactly is your office doing, maybe partnering with some of the hospitality stakeholders to ensure that we are getting also those who have not yet done hospitality but are interested, so that we can, as you have put it, you can create jobs for these young people?
Yes, we have to appreciate that the standard of living, particularly within the coastal region, has been a little bit wanting, and that parents have had a challenge in terms of ensuring that their children complete courses here at Bandari Maritime Academy, and also the other educational institutions that train seafarers. So I know the dropout rate has been high, and I think this is one of the issues that was raised with me right from the beginning when I took over the State Department for Shipping and Maritime Affairs. Now, this is what we have done for the last 3 or 4 months. We have liaised with Kenya Commercial Bank. They are ready to give scholarships, and indeed, even the event that we'll have this afternoon, the CEO himself will be here to make a pronouncement to that effect. I've also implored upon the governors, particularly within the coastal region, to offer scholarships to students who want to train as seafarers here at Bandari Maritime Academy. But as a State Department, one of my semi-autonomous government agencies, that is Kenya Maritime Authority, has set aside 20 million shillings this financial year, and will keep on increasing that amount as we go forward. This amount has been wired to Higher Education Loans Board accounts. We have a memorandum of understanding with them, so students can apply for loans to the Higher Education Loans Board for maritime studies. This is ring-fenced only for maritime studies. And previously, we gave 30 million. So in total, this is 50 million shillings that we are setting aside for scholarships and also for loans that can be given through Higher Education Loans Board. So with this amount of money, surely parents should then not complain that they are unable to cater for college fees for their children.
I am one of a guardian of a beneficiary of this program, but one of the somehow challenges that we had immediately being recruited, the embarkation journey, of course, it's the procedure is very long and very expensive, and you have said that the KCB is bringing in money so that the students can acquire loans so that they can facilitate this process. However, between the time that they have been recruited and the time that they get on board the ships, it's a very long time, and of course you cannot force the manning agents to hasten the process. However, we are seeing some of them losing the goodwill of going or losing the morale because someone can stay up to until 1 year. We have also seen some of these manning agents dropping some of them to see that they can start again the whole process. Maybe the process was flawed. So what have you gone through this whole process with the manning agents to ensure to the students, because these are some of the lamentations that the students gave during the one-on-one that you had with them here at Bandari Maritime Academy?
Yes, what I'm doing is I'm trying as much as I can to get these employment opportunities from these international shipping lines. I appreciate the fact that sometimes they have to wait for a long period of time, but it's because those opportunities are also not available. So as a State Department, we've gone out aggressively. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I was in Denmark, and I met the CEO of the Danish Shipping Line Owners Association just to implore upon her to give us those slots, and she assured me of the same. We have also approached the French government. Qatar government is also on the line. I had a discussion with our ambassador in Qatar because we have a memorandum of understanding with them. So yes, we are going to ensure that period that they have to wait before embarkment is shortened by getting those employment opportunities. And as a government, as a Kenya Kwanza government, our object is to bring up the people at the lowest level of the economic pyramid. These are the people we are targeting. So we will not sleep on the job. We will go out there. We will engage all these ship owners to ensure that we get these opportunities. I had an opportunity of sitting with the CEO of MSC, Mediterranean shipping company, and he also assured me that he was going to give me some slots. But what they are looking for also is quality labor. Quality labor is very critical, by the way. They are not just bringing on board anybody. People have to have high skills in order to compete in the international labor market. So as Bandari Maritime Academy, we are also pushing towards ensuring that our curriculum is acceptable internationally, that we have the best facilitators here also, lecturers. As you're aware, we are also recruiting lecturers at Bandari Maritime Academy. The government has given us a go-ahead. National Treasury has set aside some resources for the employment. So I think we are in a good place as it is now.
Okay. Do we expect more partners to come in? As of now, those who are offering loans for the embarkation journey is only KCB. Are we expecting other partnerships as well?
We have approached Equity Bank also. They have their Wings to Fly program. If they can be able to include Bandari Maritime Academy students will appreciate. We're also approaching other financial institutions, here in Kenya to give us support. But so far, Equity has shown some interest, and we hope and pray that the other financial institutions that we've written to will also respond positively.
Okay, finally, the issue of the union. The seafarers are under a union, and there have been talks here and there. When you came in, of course, you found that there was a divide between them. What have you done to ensure that as we close, everything is streamlined and they're speaking on the same voice? Of course, you cannot intervene on the operations, but of course, you just streamline to ensure that they are speaking from one voice.
Yeah, as you're aware, the matter had been taken to court. I may not really be able to comment much about the court issue because, we just have to allow the court process to be complete as it is first. But nevertheless, I've had a meeting with both factions because I think there are two factions fighting for leadership. They're just basically leadership wrangles. And we've had a sitting. We have discussed this issue. These are personal interests that are bringing in division amongst them. But once the matter is through in court, we should be able to call for elections so that the seafarers can then pick on people that they have confidence in to be able to take care of their interests even as they're out there in the sea.
For that young man or for that young lady who wants to get recruited for these jobs, what will be your clarion call? Because I realize so much sensitization has not been enforced at the grassroots level. You'll find that more upcountry people are aware, but here the grassroots people, still the sensitization is still low.
Okay, so our approach as a State Department is to have as many TV and radio shows as possible. Indeed, tomorrow I'll be interviewed by Msenangu radio station. I was with Pwani radio station the other day. Yes. Today I'm with KBC. So this is our aggressive campaign. But other than that, I have directed the management of Kenya Maritime Authority to produce brochures that we can then be able to distribute, to all the county governments within the coastal region so that people are aware of the process of recruitment of seafarers right from the beginning all the way until embarkment.
Thank you so much. We are booking a date with you, on a later date with you with KBC. Kindly allow us to come so that we can talk more about maritime security and so much about the Kenya Ports Authority, the shipping line. We haven't even talked about the shipyard yet, but please give us a moment of your time. We can come and do the interview. Thank you so much for your time. Regina, we are awaiting the arrival of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, at around 2 p.m. He will be making his way here at the Bandari Maritime Academy, where he will be flagging off 500 seafarers who are going to be embarking on ocean-going vessels to hear what they have to say, their lamentations. Also, other stakeholders are present as well, so that they can give their testimonies as well as their wants for the Deputy President to hear what their demands are. I have been added more extra time, if you may. Let's talk about the maritime security. There have been incidences of some people. We have seen fatalities, I might put it that way. These are recent cases that I have personally witnessed and we have covered. What have you done? Because I'm sure there is a new maritime security aspect that have been brought in, that is you're working with other ministries. How have you set it up apart so that you can ensure that as tourists come, even as fishermen go to the EEZ, they are secure?
So the Kenya Kwanza administration is taking this issue very seriously. And a directive has been given to the effect that we establish a maritime security committee, which I will be chairing. The composition of the committee is the members are from the Kenya Police. We have members from the Kenya Navy. We have representation from the Kenya Coast Guard Services. We have representation from the Kenya Wildlife Services because of the marine park that we have within our water bodies. So all the security agencies, including NGAO, the National Government Administration, you know, because National Government Administration coordinates also all these security agencies. They have been brought on board. And indeed, we launched the committee about 2 weeks ago. The entire membership of the committee, as I've indicated, was present, and therefore we will have meetings going forward to address some of the issues that you have pointed out, and also to lay strategies that can be able to counter some of these challenges that we're facing in terms of security in our water bodies.
If you realize, most of the BMUs right now, they have the basic training that a fisherman has. It's just to save me, but also the fishermen themselves might be drowning in some of the instances. This program, I know the framework isn't yet in place, the particulars yet, but who exactly is being targeted in this whole structure to ensure that even the beach boys who are there, sorry to call them that, if they are there, they can assist whenever any fatality happens, because in December we saw a ship capsize just here at the Pirates Beach. Who is being targeted in this whole framework?
So we are targeting the beach management units.
Yes.
We are targeting the local fishermen. We are targeting also the ones who take our tourists to our marine parks. And what we are doing, concerning what you have raised, you know, the issue of the accidents in our water bodies, is we are giving out free life jackets. Kenya Coast Guard has given quite a number as part of their corporate social responsibility, but we have implored upon Kenya Maritime Authority to set aside some resources, actually 20 million, which will be used to produce the life jackets locally. We don't want to buy the imported ones because we also want to create employment for Kenyans, you know. So farms within the country that will have the capacity, you know, to produce these life jackets, they have an opportunity now because of this small seed, you know, capital and amount that we have set aside basically for production of life jackets. And then immediately after that, we'll distribute them for free, you know, to all the beach management units that we have in the coastal region, so as to ensure their clients are safe as they ply the waters.
The Kenya Coast Guard has been a subject of talk and negativity among the fisher folk community in here down at the coast, on, of course, them being told not to fish the small fish for the fishermen, and also they have no confidence in the Kenya Coast Guard that is there. Has there been any strategic partnership to ensure that the fisher folk understand what exactly the Coast Guard is doing, as vis-a-vis what the Coast Guard is doing to the fisher folk community in terms of protecting them and their mandate?
Yes, so we are reaching out to our clients. The beach management units are actually our clients.
Yes.
To understand the mandate of the Kenya Coast Guard services, because they are there to ensure their safety. Their object is purely security, nothing else.
Yes.
You know, concerning discouraging fishermen from possibly fishing the young fish, the small fish, it's purely for sustainability.
Yes.
You know, so that we do not deplete our stock. We have to be careful on that. We have to do it in a strategic way, you know, so that we ensure that our fish stock, you know, remain plentiful in our water bodies, for sustainability. So they have to understand it from that perspective. But also Kenya Coast Guard has done a lot in terms of illegal fishing, because we also have a number of companies that come to our waters, our EEZ, to steal our fish. And therefore Kenya Coast Guard is there to safeguard our resources, you know, so as to ensure our locals are able to partake of this resource that is available within our blue economy.
I know the Cabinet Secretary is really passionate to ensure that the EEZ is calmed so that we can increase our tonnage as a country, and it has been a subject of concern. Yesterday he pointed out that you're increasing the boats so that the BMUs can be able to be capacitated. I'm sure you have done trainings for these fisher folks that are there, but are there any other plans to ensure that not only the BMUs that are going outside, what about any partnerships that you've done? Have you recalled any license for the bigger boats who are going on board, who are supposed to come back in, or any other partnerships that you have done?
Now, this will be done in partnership with, obviously, the Kenya Coast Guard Service,
yes,
because they are our enforcement arm. And indeed, there are quite a number of vessels that have been captured, you know. The laws are very clear. If there is illegal fishing that is going on, or there are any other illegal activities taking place in the Indian Ocean, the law is extremely clear. We should be able to produce possibly a record, a report, you know, on the number of incidents that have happened in terms of the illegal activities and the action taken. I think we've been a little bit poor on that. We will be more proactive so as to make you aware concerning what Kenya Coast Guard is doing. So yes, we've been able to arrest a number of, you know, fishing vessels that are doing illegal fishing.
Are you revising the licenses on how you're going to give them? Also, I don't know if we have any of our personal shipping ships that are going to the exclusive economic zone to also bring returns. Are we there yet?
Yes, we are there. We are there in terms of fishing. But we are not there, you know, in big numbers. Not in comparison to Seychelles, not even in comparison to Tanzania.
Yes.
They've been able to exploit the resources within the EEZ more than us. But we have an aggressive campaign to ensure this happens. A very, very aggressive campaign. So we're trying to interest, by the way, even the business community here in Mombasa, within the coastal region, to see the resources that are available in the blue economy. They don't just have to be, you know, engaged in logistics, in the hospitality industry, you know, and the like. We want to interest them also to see what is available within their reach. This is a major resource at their backyard that they need to exploit for their own good.
Let's talk about Liwatoni. It may not fall under your department. However, it's a part of bringing the fish so that the processing can be done. The CS, again, is very passionate about the Liwatoni. In the past, we have seen complaints of the residents complaining that most of these industries or any plant that is being put here, the residents are not given a priority. I know the government is fast-tracking the construction of the Liwatoni site, but what are the plans to have some of the beneficiaries from our local investors as well as having the locals get employed first when the plant kicks off the processing?
First of all, let me do away with the perception that has been created that coastarians, you know, have been pushed to the periphery. It is not true. I'm personally from Coast. I'm a PS. The CS is from Coast.
Yes.
Really. The chairman of Kenya Maritime Authority is also from Coast. So this perception needs to be done away with completely. There are opportunities available for coastarians, and even Liwatoni is one good example. Anybody who applies, because it's going to be an open tender. You know, there's nothing that we are going to do under the table. You can rest assured about it. Anybody who is going to apply and he qualifies to establish, you know, a small farm, an enterprise, will be given that opportunity. I can assure you concerning that.
So when it comes to bringing in the fish from the EEZ and the ship that are not from the country, how do we ensure that the revenue that we collect is going to help us, other than it's not just a one-stop shop, so that because I understand they're supposed to bring all the proceeds from the ocean here so that we can do the separation and then the processing continues. However, what is to give confidence to some of these local investors who want to take the lease to ensure that they're getting maximum profits once the processing plant begins?
Okay, so let's begin with the processing plant.
Yes.
The processing plant is about value addition.
Yes. Yes.
Because there's going to be refrigeration, yes, first of all, yeah, then later on the canning, and finally the exporting the fish. Now, in the entire value chain, we're employing people. So employment opportunities are going to be available more so for coastarians, because those who are going to be employed will be from within the coastal region.
Yes.
So that's a plus to begin with. But yes, the government also will get its revenue. The resources that we will raise, obviously, we will have to give priority to the coastal region, also in terms of development. I'm not so sure concerning the breakdown as given in accordance with the law, but I know there's a certain percentage that also goes to the county government.
Yes.
So the county government also benefits in the process. Yeah. And therefore, again, going back to that perception, because I know that is what you are raising, it does not hold in actual sense, or it will not hold during the Kenya Kwanza administration. If that was the situation that was obtaining before, we are doing away with it. And as it is, we are aggressively going out there to ensure that coastarians benefit from these projects.
Again, I was present during the launch of the Kenya Shipyard Limited, and the promise was youths will be employed from this region. What is happening? Because since then, the government has just gone quiet on that facility, and we are not seeing any such flagship projects that are being conducted on that other side.
That may not be true. I think it's just that they have not come out in the open to say what they are doing. But I think it's something I can pick up. It's not a parastatal under my charge.
Yes.
It's under Ministry of Defense, but I'll raise it with the PS Defense so that then they can have public meetings and appraise members of the public of the much that they've been able to do so far. But this is a brilliant way, to ensure not only employment, but maintenance of boats. It takes a lot of money for the owner of a boat to take his ship to Dubai or possibly to South Africa, only for maintenance, and yet it can be done within. So Kenya Shipyard Limited is a brilliant idea that the government came up with, and I think as we pump in more money there, the locals will benefit in terms of being given jobs of maintenance, possibly painting the boats, or when it comes to plumbing works, whatever work that can be done to maintain the boat. Those are opportunities for the local people here.
Okay, finally, let's talk about finally the Fisheries Act. I understand it was supposed to be enacted just before President Uhuru Kenyatta left. However, when the Kenya Kwanza government came in, it just took a pause and said it be revised before it's been enacted. What exactly is happening?
It's to take care of the interests of all the stakeholders. Yeah, we are doing away with state capture here, so that everybody has a slice of the cake. So it is not deliberate to possibly ensure that some people miss out on this cake, but actually to bring them on board. And within a short period of time, you can rest assured those changes that are to be put in place will be put in place, and the law will be enacted.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Let's just go back to studio. We look forward to the event in the afternoon. Thank you for your time. Now we are waiting again the arrival of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua this afternoon, where he is expected to come and flag off 500 seafarers who will be aboard the ocean-going vessels. I'm aware there's Royal Caribbean, there's MSC. There are so many ocean vessels here. We are expecting the manning agents also to be present to give, of course, their promise as to how these youths will be accommodated in these vessels. But this is a successful program. We are privy to some of the students who have embarked and are telling of the success stories of the seafarers. So as the PS has put it, the government is creating jobs for the youth to ensure that they are cushioned to lessen the unemployment rate in the country. So as we await the arrival of the Deputy President at around 2 p.m., I'm handing back to you in studio as you continue with the broadcast. But from the Bandari Maritime Academy, I'm Juni Karisambele.